Welcome to the Chasing Ebenezer Show. This is a show where we talk about stuff, play you some music, and encourage you to be creative. This season, we are exploring the art of being human. We want to say thank you to our patrons who support us each month. If you want to know more about that, visit us on patreon.com/Chasing Ebenezer. For more information about our musical endeavors, visit chasingebenezer.com. We hope you enjoy the show. All right, hey everybody, welcome to the Chasing Ebenezer Show. I'm Benjamin and this is Heidi, and this is a show where we talk about our humanity and we talk about creativity. You got
I am welcoming you with my hands.
That's
This is the welcome. Welcome to my...
It's a little scary, actually. I'm feeling fearful of your welcome.
Fine. We're talking about hospitality
Yeah, we are.
today.
That wasn't very hospitable. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't be so rude to my weird welcoming hands.
A little bit. There we go.
All right, here's what we're excited about. I painted a painting for...
What's that?
For myself. For my mantle, and I am so excited about it. Ugh, I don't know if I...
You got it. I believe in you.
It's big. It's pretty big. It's one of the bigger ones that I've done. Woo!
I love it. It's awesome.
It's based on Joseph's journey of many colors. The story of Joseph. If you don't know about it, he was a guy who had a lot of trouble in his life. A lot of shades of emotions, I'm sure.
Shades to match his coat.
Shades to match his coat of many colors. But I really appreciate...
I love it.
Hang on. I'm going to fall off my seat. I'm going to ruin my painting. I appreciate that he remained with God. God remained with him. And so it's a great story if you haven't read it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just excited about it.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about it. It makes me happy every time. I'm so glad it's our painting. It's in the... It's your painting that I get to look at every day. It's wonderful.
I'll let you look at it.
So I'm excited about a couple things. I am excited, as I said last time, I'm very excited about recording, so it just bears repeating.
It's going to be your excited thing all the time.
For the whole time. And I'm also excited because I always like starting books. I'm a big fan of starting books, and I'm getting better at finishing books.
You are definitely.
I am. So, about a month ago, I talked about reading The Meg. That was a fun experience. I want to read the second book now. And I read No Country for Old Men.
Oh.
And loved it. So good. And now you got me this book for my birthday.
I did get it for you.
Wendell Berry is one of my favorite poets. And I read Jayber Crow, which is another book in this series. I'm going to talk about this book here in a second. And I remember reading through it and thinking, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? I got to the end and I'm like weeping in the coffee shop I'm reading it because it's such a beautiful story. So this is his first book, based in the same town called Nathan
I need
Coulter.
to read it too.
And I'm only on chapter 1. It's one of those books that is so poetic and beautiful that I'm having to just read it slowly. But it reminds me of going to my grandparents' house. That's what it reminds me of. So and that was always like one of my favorite places to go growing up. So yeah, feels good. I love it. I'm excited about it. I really am enjoying it. Thank you for giving me that birthday gift and for letting me look at your painting. Wonderful things.
Happy to creep you out with my welcome hands anytime.
Creepy welcome hands. They're a thing. I'm also excited. I'm not sure when this show will air, if it'll be before or after this. Either way, but I'm excited about it now because it hasn't happened yet. I'm excited about getting to see David Arkenstone again at the end of this month and to play with him and to see him play. He just released a new album called Winterlude, which you should check out. I'm a lot of good things to be excited about.
There's so many good things.
I know. If I just pause and think about it. What about your humanity? I'll go first because I always tend to whine. Humanity always tends to be about something negative.
Yeah, quit whining.
I've been going to the gym a lot more lately. I've missed a couple days, but I am feeling good exercising again. Like,
good.
I'm feeling good getting tired and worn out. I guess that whole, they call it a runner's high. I'd call it like a speed walking high because I don't run. But there's that feeling of exhaustion that you get, and there's that satisfaction. Like, it definitely has been helping my mental health by going and doing that as much as I can.
That's good. I'm enjoying getting rid of some things. I'm of just cleaning things out. I kind of get excited when I get rid of something because I'm learning that I don't have to give away a memory if I'm giving away an item. So clearing out, I've been like packing and unpacking since I think February. And so I'm kind of over it.
It's been a year.
We moved and then we've cleared out my dad's house. So there's so many memories of my mom but I'm realizing, I don't have to give away a memory just because I get rid of something that she gave me. It's okay to let things go, and it actually reduces chaos. So part of the journey of being human is letting go of things.
It's true.
So it's good. It's good.
I like it.
Because then I just get more things.
Well, that's what I meant. Wow. So today we are going to be talking about hospitality.
So come on in and experience the creepy welcome hands.
Hospitality. What comes to your mind?
Well, definitely Martha Stewart. Setting a beautiful tablescape, which I don't do. I am so bad at like arranging food and meals and all that stuff. I'm terrible at it. So if that's hospitable, then I
think of tea parties being fancy pants, not putting my elbows on the table, and being around people and having small talk.
And you're not a nosher.
No.
You're not a chit chat.
Nope. Mm-mm.
You want to go serious.
I'm like, let's have a serious conversation. Tell me about where you're feeling like your life is in the balance. Let's talk about those things, which I understand. Not everybody wants to go that deep, but also, like when I've seen people try to make a really nice dinner party or put on a really nice something, I usually observe all the stress.
Oh, especially if you're part behind the scenes, the stress, all the stress that leads up
to it.
This is going to be an amazing event.
And I'm thinking to myself, I would rather go to McDonald's and eat in my car in silence. I'm just being honest. So hospitality is kind of a trigger word for me now that I'm talking it out, and I'm sure that I'm wrong, and I'm sure that those that try to be hospitable in that way, you're a gift, and we love you.
Oh yeah, it's a gift for some
and it's
people
a gift that I don't have. But I think there's a deeper layer to hospitality that maybe we can touch on.
Well, I think we should.
Okay, go for it.
Well, especially if you're someone who doesn't have a large space to entertain per se. If we're viewing it simply as having people over to the place where we reside, then that can be very limiting. If we're just talking about a physical space or a meal. So when over the past, 5-10 years, I've tried to look at hospitality more of conveying the concept in how I treat people, that you are welcome, that I want to make room for you, whether it's in a conversation or what I'm doing, making room and being a presence of peace and of encouragement. So making my personhood hospitable.
Hospitable. There's a B, but pull.
Which I'm having to work at that. I'm not saying I'm good at it. It's something I long to be someone who, if you're around me, that you can.
Basically, all of these episodes are just a cry for help. That's really all they are. We need to be helped.
because I've been part of that planning thing where it's like, it's so stressful that by the time you get to that thing or that event or whatever, you've made everyone else around you so stressed out that those people don't feel calm and hospitable and welcoming
and then it's
safe
done,
and
and then you have to
nurturing.
clean it all up.
Oh, yeah, there's that part too, the cleanup.
Yeah. Things that I don't like.
Cleaning up.
No. Oh man. And usually I'm afraid because this is maybe one of my issues is that like I know that this is one of my limitations. I'm not good at this. So I know I'm going to irritate the person that is good at it.
Oh, like
I'm going to make, they're going to be mad at me.
Because you're like, here's my plastic bag of like,
right.
Yeah, like I'll go to the store, like the bakery, and just like, here's my cookies in my plastic tray.
I got Oreos and
Here you go.
oranges. Here you go.
So someone's preparing a beautiful tablescape. It's like, seriously, they couldn't have put a little more effort into it.
There is always room for Oreos at a fancy tablescape. I'm sorry.
And yet when you do see a beautiful tablescape,
oh, it's inspiring.
It's beauty. It's a work of beauty.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So no,
and it can be. But yes,
but it's stressful. So I like what you said about making space for people. I think that's a really important thing. As a sound mixer, someone called me a recording artist the other day. And I was
you
like,
are a recording
I am,
artist.
But it took me a minute to be like, what? Oh yeah, that's true.
You are a recording
But
artist.
one of the things I've learned about sound mixing is that you can record a bunch of instruments. That's the first piece of it. But the art form is making room for all of the instruments to be in their proper place, for them to have a home, so to speak. In the song.
I like that.
So I think that I can relate to hospitality when it comes to that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Well, what are some good experiences of hospitality you've had? We don't need to talk about bad ones.
Oh. Well, now I'm blanking.
You're drawing a blankie.
I'm trying to blankie.
If you're a patron, you'll see little gag reels and stuff that we do. It's one from last month.
Drawing a blankie. Oh, well, I need to think about it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I probably have told this story before, but when I was a kid, one of the first bands I was in, my guitar player had the coolest family. Zach, you have an awesome family. And I remember going to their house, and I remember it wasn't like they went out of their way to design this huge fancy presentation of, hey, my son's having a friend over. Enjoy, But it was like, oh, I'm just one of the family. I'm sitting at the table like they would be doing normally. And I didn't feel like I was the guest of honor, but I didn't feel like I was interrupting something. Like I felt like it was just...
You just merged in.
I just merged in.
You just merged in.
And I'm a person who loves that kind of subtlety. So it was really nice.
Yeah.
And I felt welcome.
Well, I spent my teenage years in Romania and spent a lot of time in village churches. And it was just, everyone participates, It doesn't, you don't have to be the best or not. But doing music and sharing, it was just kind of, everyone was included.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of how I've felt about art is that everyone has space to share. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're always going to be the one up front, but just that everyone is it's a communal way of living. And in the United States, we can be very isolated.
Yes.
Versus that making room for each other, and that everyone has a part to play and is safe to screw up.
We talk about being isolated as a culture. I think we're also extremely performance-oriented, meaning that we derive our sense of worth from how we perform,
how well we're doing.
How we're we're always evaluated in everything in life, it feels like. So if you take those elements and then someone tries to be hospitable, it can be very easy to put performance, like how you perform.
Like, am I being hospitable enough?
Is this going to be enough? And we then become like, we derive our worth from that. And that can become really unhealthy because in some ways, like in our effort to make a home for people and to do such a great job at that, we end up not being a part of the party just by nature
Yeah,
of,
right, right. Or if it doesn't seem, if everything's not perfect, or then we can
I
feel
can't,
crappy. And
I can't tell you how many times, like when I facilitate a group, that I have so much anxiety over making sure everybody feels included and no one's stepping on other people, like being controlling, basically.
There's a fine line.
There's a
It's
fine line
fine line.
that I myself don't feel like I'm part of the community, even though I'm leading said community in some way,
Sure.
shape, or form. So
Yeah.
it can be really, it's a dance and it's a challenge, and there's a lot of learning, a lot of unlearning, and a lot of practice that comes in with that. So I think this is a really important topic to humans, to American humans, and to creative humans. How do you see hospitality as it relates to creativity? Because whenever I think of hospitality and the gift of hospitality, like we've said, I think about home making a dinner table or decorating for a party.
And it can be.
It can be, sure, and it is that. But how do you see being hospitable as a creator in whatever art form you do?
Well, I think there's so many ways. I think creating room for other people to share their art, whether it's you have an evening in your home, or you host an open mic, or you start a group art project where you're working on that together. Just making sure to if someone is creating something that moves you or touches you, or you can see they're working really hard at their craft, make sure that they know.
Yeah.
I think group art projects can be really interesting. So
You can laugh a lot.
you can laugh a lot. Yeah.
You can laugh a lot. And you have to relinquish control.
Yes.
And you have to relinquish
Yes.
perfectionism.
Yes.
All of those
Because
things.
the value is art is a vehicle for building. Can be a vehicle for building home and community, and so.
And that's a tough mentality.
It
to
is.
shift.
It is.
I mean, even as with what I do, I'm like, ooh. But what that communicates, though, and I already am aware of this with myself, is that it communicates a lack of trust in other people.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
So.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, a lot of baggage there. Fun. Well, and I was thinking about, even without having to have like all these events that involve tons of people, but if you're a musician, okay, this is something I'm learning with our band. I mean, when you and I play together, I'm having to learn how to do less on the guitar to make room for your violin.
Yeah, make room for me.
But even more so when we play with our full band, because I have a drummer who can set rhythm. I have a percussionist who can add accents. I've got a bass player who can do phenomenal things. And so how am I focusing on letting those musicians shine versus making sure I'm included? You know what I mean? There's that piece of, it doesn't erase me.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the fear of of making room for others, is if I make room for others, then I'm going to be forgotten and I'm going to disappear. Right. So I think that's true in life, but I think in music that can be really true. It's like, well, what value am I as a guitarist? Well, that says it all right there. So I'm learning how to be hospitable, even just in playing in a band.
Yeah, and I think thinking about hospitality as an environment that you're creating. So whether it's you're a supervisor at work, or you're a neighbor, or you're creating an environment. I like to think of hospitality kind of as a womb. A womb. That word is very hard for me to say. Womb. Did that be on the
But
end?
Woomba.
Womb.
A Woomba.
Because a hospitable environment where a child can grow safely. They can grow. They're being I know words are hard for me to say.
I'm listening. I am
know
intrigued.
it's kind
I'm
of
listening.
a weird analogy, but a hospitable environment where something can grow.
Yeah.
You're feeding them, but you're life can happen. So you can be hospitable when you're in line at the grocery store.
Yep.
There's an epidemic of loneliness in our culture. And if you read the Surgeon General report from earlier this year, day-to-day connectivity in our everyday life interactions will help with this
Yeah.
loneliness. So if you're in line at the grocery store, and I know I can be this way, if I'm in my own little zone and the line's so long and I have somewhere to be and I can't believe all of this and all. If that's how I'm standing in line at the grocery store versus deep breath. Oh, hey, how are you today? Oh, I love that kind
That's
of chocolate
really
too.
good.
So you're creating an environment that is,
That's good.
and it takes work and energy.
And
Energy, man.
and it takes and it takes letting go. Letting go of your agenda, letting go of so
you
much.
can take a snooze emotionally, like take a nice little.
I didn't sleep very well last night, so
Go take a nap.
that's tempting.
Go take a nap.
I might a little later today. We'll see. So I think you already kind of suggested a few prompts, which is like, go to start an open mic. Start an open mic. Go to an open mic.
Join a choir.
Join. We have friends that do this. Join a choir. Yeah, or whatever.
Because then you're singing.
Meetup is a very real thing. Like there's groups you can meet up in. You can go to an art meetup. You can do your stuff with other people. Do your stuff with other people. Go grocery shopping with somebody else just to hang out with them. I mean, these are all things that you can do just to be around people. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Use welcome hands.
Use welcome hands until someone tells you not to, because it's no longer loving to do it at that point. So the song that we're going to do is the first song on our full-length record. It's and it's usually the last song when we play at every show that we do. It's our song Home. So hope you enjoy that. I want to say thank you to our patrons. I didn't say this in the beginning. Thank you for your support and for sticking with us. You are making our next album possible. We love you. Even if you're not a patron, we love you, and we'll see you soon. Journeyed far and wide, I braved the desert, I looked up to the sky, I searched in pleasure to numb my pain, enslaved me like a needle in the vein. The needle in the vein. Home, this ain't my home. Home, this ain't my home. Home, this ain't my home. Well, home, this ain't my home. Search to know the truth. I asked the wise men, they knew not what to do. So I tried my best to get it right. This death won't seem to die without a fight. To die without a fight. This ain't my home. Well, home, this ain't my home. Home, this ain't my home. Well, home, this ain't my Said I'm crooked way deep down, trying not to drown in death. Need to start again. Stop the clock and break the hour hand. I played love stronger than death. Someone rescue me. I'm running out of breath.